Alright, well, it looks to me like it's 7 p.m., so let's go. Cool. Give people a moment to show up if there's people still headed over. So I'm molding some little honeycomb pieces that I made last night. Because I'm gonna be making, I might end up making like 3 sets of dice, but I have 2 different commissions that I'm gonna be working on tonight. Oh, also I have a little helper here with me. You wanna come out? Hello, kitten. I have a kitten in my sweater. Oh, you can see her paw. She'll be leaving once I start actually pouring resin, but at the moment she's keeping me warm because this room is very cold. Very, very cold. There's no vent in this room. Like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. There's just no vent in this room. What are you doing? Are you chewing on the buttons on my shirt? Just trying to steal the buttons off of my shirt, apparently. We'll see if anybody shows up in the chat. Alright, it's a hell of a feeling though. I did make a dice that was out of this honey color too, but it doesn't look very honey colored. It looks a lot more like red, almost. I think because there's so much of it. I guess it looks kind of honey, like what honey actually looks like, but it doesn't look like what you would expect honey to look like, if that makes sense. So I don't think I'll end up using that one. The plan here. Oh, who's texting me? Oh. That would be my family. Okay, so, but yeah, the plan here, I have one of the sets I'm going to be working on, and it's kind of funny because this is a set that I've kind of been thinking about making for a while, or something in this vein, and then someone reached out and actually asked about getting a set that was kind of what I was thinking about already. The kitten. The kitten. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you chewing on my Ah! She's chewing on the buttons on my shirt. No, the bee set of dice, I've been wanting to do like a set of dice for a while now that's bee themed, where every die is different. And then someone reached out with basically the same idea. So that's one of the things I'm going to be working on. Hello. I don't know what I'm going to do for all of the dice yet, but I do have it set up so that... What's going on in my family group chat? I do have it set up so that I can do dice individually, so I'm just going to do the ones that I do have concrete plans for. Well, actually, I'm going to do 3 that I have concrete plans for, and I'm going to do a test for one of them. And that's because the materials that I'm going to be using eventually, I have a limited supply, and so I don't want to mess it up. I want to make sure that the design is how I want it before I do the final design on that one. But I do have these, and my plan here, I think, let me see how these fit. I'm just going to do one of these little 3. So these aren't exactly honeycomb. They're kind of, I need to turn let me turn the, what was that? Oh, hi, thanks for following. I'm going to turn off my ringtone so my family isn't texting me. Oh, hello Spacefly. Thanks for following as well. I only recently got affiliate, which is, so now it's kind of funny that people are following. Wow, where are all these people coming from? These are all, where are all these people coming from? Welcome. Glad you could join us. What I was saying though is this is not really honeycomb. It's kind of the opposite of honeycomb because the mat that I poured them onto was kind of a honeycomb. If you can see here. So what I'm going to be doing is that I made these in kind of the honey color, and I'm going to make a sort of opaque yellowish resin and place it in there, just part of the way up, and then I'm going to put, ooh, is this going to fit in here? I wasn't sure. That might not fit in the D4. I might do that in a different one. Alright, I'm not going to do the D4. But I'm going to fill it up part of the way and then put this in so that the opaque yellow resin will look like the honeycomb, and this will look like the honey that's on top of the honeycomb. Oh, is that up? What's gonna be a good size for that? So I have a plan for the D20. I was thinking of doing flowers in both of the D10s. Probably like different flowers and maybe slightly different yellows with them. So we'd have D6, D8. We'll pull out a D8 and look here. Let's see if this fit well in here. Oh, it might fit well in the D8 actually. What else? Wondering if one of these would fit even better. Actually, the triangle's probably going to be good because the D8's kind of a triangle shape. Get a good. Alright, let me think about this. Yeah, I think the D8's actually going to be good for that, so we'll do the D8 instead of the D4. D4 I'll have to think on what I want to do there. But the two D10s, I am thinking flowers. The D20 is eventually going to have a bee in it. I have a dead bee that I found on the sidewalk and I saved. But I'm going to try it with a wasp today because I have a couple more wasps, so I'm less worried about messing that up. I want to make sure that I have the design down before I use the actual bee. So that's that, and then I'm going to be doing a set over here that's going to be gray with black smoke in it. I don't have, I took those upstairs. I had an example. Here, I think I have a picture on my phone. I can show you kind of what I mean by the black smoke effect that I'm going to be going for. If I could, it's not a great photo because this is just the raw dice, but that's kind of the black smoke effect that we're going to go for. And I can do that. That's a set that I made fairly recently, so I know what I'm going to do there. So we've got partial set here. We need to pull out the flowers. That set there, and then I can usually do about 3 sets at a time, so let's maybe do one more set of dice too. What do I want to do? What do I want to do for a 3rd set? Oh, I did also save these little like kind of drops of honey that are from the mixing cup. So maybe I'll end up using those somewhere too, but I don't know yet. Probably not tonight. I need to think of what I'm going to be doing for the rest of these dice. Yeah, let me grab the flowers. I'm going to put the kitten outside. Come on out. Oh, she's so nice and warm though. Look, there's the kitten. You want to say hello? Want to say hello, kitten? Yes, there's the kitten. Alright, you gotta go out. Because I know you'll try and eat the flowers or the bugs. Alright, bye-bye. Bye-bye, have fun. Alright, let me pull the flowers and the bugs down. So I've got a few options for flowers, and For bugs, I'm just gonna pull out a wasp, like I said. I'm gonna do a sort of test with a wasp before I use the actual bee that I have. Yeah, I've got a bumblebee in here, but we're gonna grab a wasp. So there's a wasp. Oh, it actually focused on it for once. So we're just gonna test it with that first before I do the final pour with the actual bumblebee. Oh, here, I can probably pull out the bumblebee if you want to see it too. Actually, it's not a, I don't know, there's a bumblebee. What is a bee? There's the, my camera doesn't like to focus. Come on. You can do it. There we go, there's the bee. Hey, focus for a second there. Okay, I'm gonna put that back before I injure it in some way. Alright, but flowers, so I'm gonna try a wasp in the D20. And then the two D10s, I'm thinking I'm gonna do kind of like maybe two different yellows, kind of some honey or honey, like beeswax colored sort of yellows, and then with like a flower on top of it. What flowers do I want to do? So I want ones that, oh, I feel like these would be nice. Cause those seem like kind of bumblebee-ish flowers. Those look like ones that a bumblebee would go to. So I think that's going to be one of the D10s. It's going to be that. And then, what do I want to do in the other D10? I could do a rose. This is a box of flowers that I got. Some of these would be a little bit big though. Well, I could do maybe chamomile. Those are a little crushed. Ooh, one of these might be pretty. Comfrena. This would, would the purple be a little bit out of place? Do I want to go a little bit more neutral though? Now I'm second guessing that. If I want to go a little bit more neutral with these flowers, because all of the other dice are probably going to be mostly in yellows and oranges. How big are these ones? Let me see what else I've got in here. New peppermint, hibiscus. These would be a little bit big. Like something yellow would probably be nice. I'll pull that out for now. Pull these out. We'll look at these. See what we've got here. We'll see if anything is small enough to go in a D10. I think these would be too big. These are kind of chunky. If you look at them, kind of a strange plant, but they're just kind of chunky looking. So I don't think we're gonna go with that. I'm curious if there's any chrysanthemums here that are a good size, because this is a nice yellow color that I think would complement the rest of the dice nice. So let's see if we can find one that's a good size. And also doesn't look unbelievably smashed. Just pouring out under the glass here, that seems... These might all be a little bit smashed. Oh, this one might be nice though. It's a little bit flat, but see if I can spread things out a little bit. They might work in a D10 though. The D10s are kind of oblong a little bit, so that's a little bit smashed, but it's not a bad size. It's not bad size. If you are new here and watching, you will realize fairly quickly that I waffle a lot before I actually get to pouring resin. So sorry about that. You just get to hear me ramble and debate with myself about what I'm going to, how I'm going to set these up before I actually get around to pouring the resin. But I want to make sure that I have everything laid out before me before I actually pour the resin. Oh, that one might work out. It's like maybe kind of the yellow here. And part of that is because the resin has a work time to it. So I want to make sure that I have all of my pieces ready before I am on a time crunch. And part of it is because, well, I'm just going to blame the fact that I have ADHD. And so I am constantly worried that I am forgetting something. So I have to like triple check things before I will actually start. Because my brain's like, no, you are forgetting something, even if I'm not. Alright, let me put these back away. Alright. Alright. They're pretty little pals, too. I'm gonna put these two down as well, because they're pretty good size as well. I might change my mind. Ooh, that one's nice as well. Let me put these petals away. I do have some other flowers in here. This container right here is ones that these are like bugs and leaves and flowers that I have collected and dried. Or I think there's a couple leaves in here that like my mom saved for me. And then these ones in the packets are ones that I just ordered online, which I actually got them for a different commission. Someone wanted red roses and I didn't have any. So I got a fancy box that has all sorts of different flowers, which worked out well. Alright, I think we have everything we need out of these two containers. I'll put these away. Come on. I don't have that closed very well. That's okay. Okay, so we have a wasp there. We have our honeycomb here. And then we have flowers for the 2D10s. Just slightly put those. Which one do I want to use? I think that one if it'll fit. And then can I do, will this collection of 3 fit? I think we'll try and do a collection of 3. Human beings like things in odd numbers. It just appeals to us for some reason. So we'll try and do an odd number there. Cool, so we've got those pieces. This here, the gray with the smoke, I'm just going to be coloring it with the black here to make a gray, and then I'm going to be using the black for the smoke. So that's easy enough. Well, like I said, I can usually do about 3 sets of dice. What do I want to do for a third set? I'm going to set this over here. The commissions, oh, this one, just a second here. The commissions, usually I do an extra D4 and like a keychain. This set though, they asked if they could get an extra D6 instead of an extra D4, and I said yeah, that's fine. And then this is a little bottle, and so if I have some extra of like the honeycomb, I'm figuring I could put that in there with like, or just a couple pieces of this maybe with some clear or something, and that'd be cute as a little keychain. But really I just use, if I have any extra, tilt that up a little bit. If I have any extra resin, I'll use that. Okay, what do I got? That. And then let me pull out, oh, what do I want to do for a third set of dice? What do we got? What do I got? I mean, we could do something, try to do something simple, but I do have a pigment that I want to try, but I probably want to do a little test piece of that first before I put it into, actually I could do that today too. Let's do that today as well. So this pigment that I got is not technically a pigment, it is powdered dragon fruit. And I'll show you in a second why I am interested in trying it as a pigment. My grandma got a whole bunch online and offered us a little bit. My brother was like, ooh, I could try cooking with that. I'm like, ooh, I could put that in resin. Hopefully there's not some terrible chemical reaction or something, but let me show you how bright this is. I'm just gonna see if I can, I don't know if it looks almost darker on camera, I think, but it's a very, very bright purplish pink. I think it's gonna clump a little bit. It's not the most finely ground, but we'll try that. And I just have little, chips of all of my colorants. I used to have them on a cord, but then I was having trouble navigating them. I couldn't move them around. But yeah, I have little chips of all of my different colors, including weird things like cloves. So I've tried all sorts of things. Mostly mica powders, alcohol inks, and resin pigments, but a few things like wasabi powder, and that sort of stuff. So this is gonna fall more in the wasabi powder category than the pigment category, but we'll try it. But let me think here. Now let me start pulling molds. Okay, let's see here. Is that the correct? Yep. I think I have D20 mixed in there somewhere. Okay, I'm just gonna grab a set of molds. D20, D12, 2D10, D8, D6, and D4. I'm debating whether I want to completely switch to this shape of D4 or not. Start doing all of my dice with the crystal D4 shape instead of the, traditional D4 shape. But also I enjoy adding these as like bonus dice in orders, so I don't know if I will or not. Oh, actually that might end up, that's gonna be the bonus dice for this order, I think. That works out. Just a little solid colored D4 for the honey one. Okay. What do I want to do in this one? I feel like let's just do something that's like shimmery, I think. Let's do something that's all sorts of fun colors. Just like shimmery colors. What colors do we want? I mean, I'm a blues and purples kind of person, blues and purples and pinks kind of person. So maybe I should do like an orange and pink or something. I think I have an orange here. Just do something kind of shimmery like that maybe. Ooh, that might be pretty. It's kind of a sunrise sort of, let's do a kind of sunrise sort of ombre or something. That'd be pretty. I think I'm gonna have to grab the actual container that I have of this blue. But I feel like that's a kind of sunrisey selection there. Let's do that. So for that, grab some little mixing cups. And I just reuse the same mixing cups as long as they're clean enough for it. This one might not be clean enough for it. Let's not use that one. Alright, looks like this one was used for pink or purple before. This one looks like it was used for pink. That works out. Huh. So I was saying before, I literally just made Twitch affiliate, like, what is today? Today's Wednesday. On Monday, I mean, I filled out all the paperwork and everything on Tuesday, so yesterday. I wonder if it Twitch like puts your video, like highlights your videos more if you are affiliate versus not. And the only reason I say that is because I have a slightly higher viewer count at the moment, which, hello, please don't feel like you have to leave or anything, without people talking, which isn't a bad thing. I'm just curious whether it has made it so that, like, there's more traffic towards my Twitch stream compared to what there used to be. Oh, I think this was for blue. That. Perfect. Alright. Which would kind of account for, you know, people who haven't been here before showing up and just checking out the stream and not chatting. Compared to, you know, a few people that have been here before. Again, I'm very cheap. I just use the same stir sticks multiple times. Yeah, that one's starting to go though. I think we'll just toss that one. So we're just going to take a little bit of each of these different colors and put them in here. So each set of dice takes 30 milliliters. So 30 divided by 5 is 5. So we're going to have about 5 milliliters of each one. Wait, no, 5 times 5 is 25. 30 divided by 5 is 6. Sorry. I can do math. Oh man. Guys, I got a degree in math. That's just shameful. So about 6 milliliters of each, which means that I do not need a lot at all. This goes honestly quite a ways, and 6 milliliters is up to, wait. Oh man, this thing is so, there we go. Now I can see. If you can see where my finger is compared to the bottom. It found it for a second there, and then it didn't want to find it again. But bottom of my fingernail to the, it looks almost bigger on camera, but it's not a lot. I might want a little bit more though. I'll grab a little tiny bit more. We'll make sure that's saturated enough. That should be plenty, but just a little tiny bit more. Little tiny bit. All right. So there's orange. Some yellow. Ooh, that's plenty. That's plenty. Do I even want orange in a sunrise? I probably don't need orange in a sunrise. I'm double thinking. I am so glitter. I'm so sparkly now. Probably can't see it, but I have mica powder all over my fingers now. Probably don't need the orange in the sunrise. Let me rethink this. We'll do it anyways. It'll be pretty. That's the important part. If I decide it doesn't look like a sunrise, I'll just call it something else. Oh, I could do... Maybe I'll do a translucent blue instead of opaque blue. That might be nice. There's pink. Oh wait, no, the orange is in between. Oh, I just had it in the wrong order. No wonder it was confusing to me. It should be this order. The orange makes more sense now. So it's gonna be yellow, orange, pink, purple. And then maybe I won't do this blue. I'm thinking maybe I'll try and do a translucent blue. So I'll show you my paint chips. Nice darkish purple. Again, that's plenty of mica powder. Let me look at my blues here and we'll see which one we want to use. Should have both good. So this is the that's that powder, which is a pretty blue. But I'm thinking translucent might be fun. I should have one more translucent blue. Where is? Oh, here it is. Ooh, actually, I kind of like that. Oh, they all look pretty much the same on screen. I think this one, though, is the one I'm going to go with. It's not too green like this one, and it's not super, like, royal blue like that one. And that's just my resin pigment blue. We got that. That's just right here. Blue. So those are all going to be sparkly, and then that's going to be translucent. Cool. I did pull out a couple other things just because I was debating on the honey ones. Let me do something with these that will make sense to me. So we have the 2d10s, we have a d8, we have a d20. Let me pull out the other ones just so I can make sure that I have, where did I set that d4? Right here. 4, 5, 6. What am I missing? D12. And D12. I'm pulling these out just so that I remember which ones I still need. I did pull out some other like colors that I could use, but I don't think I'm gonna end up using those tonight. I pulled out the colors that I used to make the honey so that I could do something in one of those, but I think I'm just going to do the ones that I have set out. There's those. This is just a tester. I think I have everything that I need. This went a lot quicker than it usually does. It usually takes me a full hour to figure out what all I need. All right. Grab that. That'd make a good keychain. Is that everything? I think that's everything. All right. Well, let's go. I'm gonna be a little muffled. Just a heads up, and I'll show you. Because I'm gonna be wearing a respirator. So I'm gonna sound like this for a while. Just because I'm gonna be pouring resin and it puts off fumes. I need to order new filters for this. I just sent a text to myself right before this saying, hey, get more filters. So hopefully I will remember. Get more filters and also more papers for, I'm going to put this off for a second. More papers for polishing. I use these for resin already. We'll see if I can unstick them without tearing them. Oh, actually, yeah. All right. So I'm still thinking up ideas for, so like I said, I reached affiliate like yesterday morning. And so that opens up a thing that's like channel points, like down at the bottom of the chat. You can like just earn points by watching. Like the longer you watch, the more you get. And it's set up so that you can do like little, oh gosh, maybe I won't end up using this. Kind of like little rewards, sort of, for your channel. And I am thinking maybe I'll end up using that for a giveaway coming up in like a week and a half maybe. I'll talk about the giveaway that I'm thinking of doing. I'm planning on doing in a minute. I'm gonna grab a fresh one of these. It's easier. Alright, let me grab the resin. Part 1 and part 2. Alright. Okay. This is 2-part resin. It has a resin and a hardener. And it takes about 24 hours for those to cure. This one's a little bit more viscous than this one, so I pour it first because it's a little bit more unwieldy. Just a heads up, I am I'm gonna go quiet for a second here while I pour. Oh wait, how much do I need? 3, 6, 7, 8, maybe. 3, 6. What, only 3 that I'm not doing? Do I want to do 80 or 100? Oh man. There's some. Maybe I'll make some D6s or something too. Okay, another set of these. I'll make another set of D6s. I'm going to do 100. I'll do 100 milliliters, so I'm going to do 50 of each. Like I said, each set of dice is 30 milliliters, but I'm not doing a full set here. But I want to make sure that I have enough. Because 3, 6, and then if this was a full set, it'd be 9. And then I'd bump it up to 100 because this goes in by tens, and I have to do equal parts of both. So I would do like 50 and 50. Yeah, we're just gonna. That's about. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do 100. I'm gonna do 100. This is gonna be easier. But yes, I'm gonna go quiet for a second here because I can't talk and keep track of how much is in here at the same time. So feel free to just hang tight for a second. Chat amongst yourselves. And I want to get this as accurate as possible, because if I get it off by just a little bit, it can make it so it doesn't cure properly. I'm very, very close here. And I have my hand behind it because it's hard to read the numbers on the side, that background. Alright, I think that's good. Yeah, so if I have not enough hardener, the resin won't cure. And if I have too much hardener, the resin will turn out brittle. So I want to get the exact right amount. So we're at 50, and go up to 100. And this one pours a lot quicker, so let's go our best. Second to settle, huh? There's a drop or two. Alright. Put these away. And we'll mix this up. So, if you haven't been here before, I like to tell the story about why I can't talk and pour the resin at the same time. And I like to tell the story of the time that I was making myself a cup of tea, and I went to pour the water into my mug, and I was actively looking at it, and then I started thinking about something else and completely poured hot water all over the counter. I was actively looking at it, and yet I still forgot that I was pouring water into a mug and overfilled it. So it's easier if I just don't get distracted while I'm pouring the resin. Alright, and this is going to take a minute to mix. You can see it's very cloudy at the moment. We need to mix that until it's completely clear and doesn't have any streaks in it at all, because that will mean that it has been mixed together completely. I think some people set like a timer for theirs. I just mix until it looks right. But yeah, that should. Oh. This is off topic of resin, but it's on topic of streaming. I tried streaming Minecraft the other night. I just got Minecraft. Like, my brother's been playing it for years, so I played with him because he knows what he's doing. I don't play a lot of video games. There's just so many things that I'm working on. I never feel like I have time for them. It's not that I don't enjoy them, and I like watching other people play video games, but I don't have great hand-eye coordination, and I definitely base a lot of my self-worth on how productive I am, which isn't necessarily the healthiest thing, but so I just never feel like I have the time to play video games. But I got Minecraft, and part of that is because I wanted something that was, I like building things, and that's something I could play with friends. I like social games. I like games that I can play with friends. But I decided to play it on stream on Saturday. I don't know if I'll do it again. Like, I did enjoy playing Minecraft, but I feel like the people that follow me probably follow me for resin stuff. So I feel kind of weird just doing other things.
I realize that it's my Twitch channel, I can do whatever I want, but if I'm having people that follow me mainly for resin stuff, you know, I don't know. I don't want to give people a whiplash. So I did that on Saturday, and then I did Twitch Sings on Monday before it disappears completely on Friday. Which is like karaoke, but it's through Twitch, but it's disappearing on the 1st, which the user interface is so it doesn't really surprise me, but also I didn't really know it was a thing, so it really doesn't surprise me that it's going away, because I don't know how many people are using it. It's not exactly advertised all that well, and it's probably expensive for them to have the music rights and stuff too, but I did that on Monday, and both of those were fun. I think maybe I just worry that they weren't necessarily entertaining in the same way that what I usually do is. I never know if people I never know what people like enjoy Twitch streams for necessarily. Like I know like why I like Twitch streams. Part of it is I like streaming because I think of it as a social thing. I like chatting with people. I like knowing, finding out what's going on with people who are watching, and like, hey, maybe they're working on projects too. It kind of fills in that gap of like hanging out with people and doing arts and crafts, which I've always loved doing. I've always been the social crafter kind of person, and it kind of fills in that gap a little bit, I feel like. And so I like it for the social aspect. I feel like that's harder to do maybe with video games to a certain extent, because I have to, I guess I'm focused on this, but like I'm definitely focused on something else. Maybe I will stream Minecraft again, but I think if I do, it might just be me, and it won't be both me and my brother playing, because I just kind of, I want to give my undivided attention to like the chat and stuff, and actually interact with people who are watching, because like I said, I think of it as kind of a social thing, so I would assume other people do as well. But I don't know if people, I don't know how entertaining I am otherwise anyways. I can obviously talk for a long period of time about absolutely nothing. That was always very useful for mic checks, for like doing theater and stuff. Because I could talk for nothing for a very long amount of time, just keep going so that they can figure out the levels on the microphones. But so like with playing video games with someone else, I'm giving my attention to who I'm playing with and not the chat. And the Twitch Sings was fun, but at the time I couldn't set it up so that like I could play with people in chat. And again, my attention was definitely focused on something that wasn't chat. So I feel I don't know if I'll do stuff like that again or not. But alternatively, there's nights like tonight where there's been no one in chat. So like it's not too big of a deal if I'm not paying attention to chat. I guess I'm not sure what people find entertaining. I guess I could just do whatever I want to do, and then if people want to show up, they can. This is looking pretty good. But again, I don't want to confuse people by streaming all sorts of different things and never having any sort of consistency in what I stream. I mean, I do have it so Wednesdays are my resin days and my like building stock or dice commission days, working on dice commissions days, and then Saturdays are my free days, and I can work on other arts and crafts projects or do some resin experiments and that sort of stuff. I think we're good. I don't see any streaks, I think we're good. I'm just making sure that I scrape the sides and the bottom so that I can make sure there's nothing stuck to the sides that hasn't been mixed in. Okay. So, I'm gonna want, let's do this one first. This one's gonna be all clear. I don't know if the final thing, this is the wasp, by the way. I don't know if the final thing, if I'm gonna want to have a different color in here or not to like accent the bee. So it's gonna be a bee eventually, but I'm testing it with a wasp. I don't know if I'm gonna want like a color to contrast that or just emphasize it in the final thing. I'm gonna set this on the lid for now. I'm dipping that in the resin so that it can fill in all the air bubbles around the object. Otherwise you might end up, if I try to stick it in while it's dry, air bubbles can get trapped easily. So I'm gonna fill this up about halfway. I do worry that this is gonna float, but we'll find out. Alright, let's see if I can get this in without breaking anything. That's the concern. The thing with the D20s is that the opening for the size of the dice is quite small. That actually seems to be doing pretty well. Let me fill that up the rest of the way. Alright, let me drip. Alright, let me get all that resin on top. I want to, yeah, see, it's floating a little bit, which I think once I get the lid on will be fine. I'm going to let this sit without the lid on for a little bit, and that will actually, yeah. Oh, hello, thanks for raiding. That's exciting. Welcome. I really need to figure out how to raid. Hello, Kit Kat CNN. Quiltoni. Oh, do you do quilting? That's cool. Hello, Nap Taker. I definitely feel the love right now. I definitely feel the love. That's super exciting. Hello, thanks for raiding. How are you doing? I'd say this evening, but I don't know what time it is for you. Also Friday-ish. This is a real wasp. I'm doing kind of a test at the moment because the final set's going to have a bee in it, but I wanted to test. I only have one bee that I found dead on the sidewalk. I didn't kill the bee, but I am testing it with a wasp before I do a bee because I only have the one bee, and I want to make sure that it works before I do that. So. It's floating a little bit, but I'm going to leave the lid off and push it down once it gets a little bit more gummy, and I'll hopefully keep it in place a little bit better. And then I found the bee. All the bugs that I have are ones that I found dead on the sidewalk and then just like saved. Like I have like a moth and that sort of stuff where I'm just like, oh, a dead moth. Oh, a dead moth. Which is maybe a little bit weird on my part, but not super surprising for me. Yeah, well, that's why I only have one bee. I ran out of cake. Oh no, we ran out of cake. But I'm just doing one. These are flowers that I'm going to be doing. The whole set of dice is going to be bee themed, but every die is going to be different. This is going to be black smoky. If you find a scorpion, you can save it for me. That's much appreciated. We're not going to do that one yet. We're going to do this one first. This one, I'm just going to grab a cup here. I need about 30. Where am I at? There's a 1, 2, 3. So I'll go down to about 60. How long does the resin take? It takes about 24 hours to cure. The resin does. I can usually pull things out of the molds like about 4 hours before that, so about 20 hours. But if you want them to be as hard as they're going to get, you need like 48 hours. Oh, okay. We'll see you in a minute. Alright, let me pour this in I need about 30 milliliters here. Where am I at? That's not about 15. I'm just going to try and get right above 60 because I had a little bit more than 90. Okay, perfect. So that's about 30. Yeah, so the resin that I use takes 24 hours to cure. There's different kinds of resin. I think some of it is, this is 2-part resin, so it has an actual resin and then a hardener for it. I think some, let me find it again. Like this. Some might be like 12 hours to cure. I've never used one that is, but I think some of them can be 12 hours. I don't want a lot of black. I'm trying to make a gray. I probably should have added a little bit more. That's not really gray. And then there's also UV resin, which is, it cures with UV light, so like sunlight. And I use that for different things. These molds are for dice. So like, I don't want to. These are for D&D dice. Oops. So like different shaped dice. You can see a 6-sided dice right there. I do also have some just plain 6-sided dice and stuff too. These are ones that are still all messy out of the molds, but I do a few other things too. I do some necklaces and jewelry and stuff, but mainly dice. Oh, thank you, nap taker. Alright, I think that's a little bit more gray. I probably shouldn't have put this in a cup that I already had stuff in. You've been trying to get into D&D? It's a lot of fun. I haven't really played since quarantine started because, like, different people like D&D for different reasons. Some people like it for, like, the fighting, gaming aspect of it. Some people like it for, like, role-playing. The big reason I like D&D is that I like the social aspect of getting together with people and, like, having dinner and chatting and working on a project together. So it's like since quarantine has started, I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I want to play D&D because I don't get to have that social part with it. But it's definitely a fun game. You have to figure out like what you want to get out of it, and then make sure that you're playing with a group that wants to get similar things out of it. That's kind of what I found, anyways. Because like if you want to play with a group that just wants to like hack and slash and kill everything, that's fine as long as everyone's on the same page. Wait, do I have? Oh, extra D10, right. But it is a fun game. I've played since I was a little kid. My family would play it together. That's a good gray. Well, let's find out. Yeah, that's a good gray. Okay, so I'm gonna fill these about halfway. The plan is I want gray with kind of like black smoke in it. So I'm going to fill these about halfway and then I'll show you what I'm going to do. I have been trying to think of like more things to make with resin too, besides just dice. I do enjoy making dice, but and I've done a little bit of jewelry too. I should do some more jewelry. I think I enjoy making jewelry. Ooh, just a second, I'm gonna make a mess with this resin. Just a moment. It's going down the side. But if people have ideas, I'd be interested in what people would be interested in seeing made out of resin. I had a friend say phone cases, which isn't a bad idea. That might be kind of fun. I think I finally got packaging for like shipping out little trays made out of resin. So I should hopefully have those up in my shop soon, because those are fun to make. Oh, thanks for following. You have cat in your name, so you fit right in. my, speaking of cats, there's a piece of cat hair in this D4. Okay, there we go. There's always cat hair. Alright. So I want that smoky effect. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just filling these up halfway. And then I'm going to take my black alcohol ink and I'm just going to put a drop in each one. I might not put a full drop in some of these smaller ones. I will probably just do like a drop onto here and then kind of touch it to the tops. I don't want it to be like a ridiculous amount of black. So just make sure there's some on the surface of the resin here. And probably just another drop here. So just a little bit in the D4. And then I'm gonna set that down for now. We're gonna fill it up the rest of the way with the rest of the resin, and because of it's gonna displace some stuff, it should make all of that black kind of swirl around in there. And I might take my little stir stick here and swirl it around a little bit too, just make sure things are dispersed pretty evenly, but let me get these all full. They look very dark now. I think once I take them out, they'll be not as dark. And they're going to be a little unevenly dark, which is kind of what I want. That kind of adds to the smoky effect, I think. But oops, did I pour enough resin? I didn't take into account the extra D6. I think I should be okay, though. I want these to be a little bit overflowing because of the kinds of molds that I'm using. I'm using, well, and also because I'm going to be putting these in a pressure pot. So I'm using cap molds, so they have lids, which is how I get the last number on there. And then these are going to be going into a pressure pot. So I put these under pressure while they cure, and that makes all of the bubbles super, super tiny, so you can't see them. So you end up with like super clear pieces. So, which is great. It really does a good job of making the resin crystal clear without any bubbles. But because it's pushing all of those bubbles down and making them super, super small, you have to have a little bit of extra resin to fill in that space. And so I want these to be domed just a little bit so that once I put the lids on and everything, there's enough extra resin to fill that space once I put them under pressure. Okay, I think I'm just going to end up pouring a little bit more clear. Shouldn't take a lot. And it's really not a big deal that it's clear. I think it'll end up mixed with the black anyways. It's not a huge deal here. Okay. I'll just add to the smoky effect. Do I sell them? Yes, I do. I'm actually planning on having a shop update on Friday. It's on the 1st. And I try to add new things to my shop. Oh, good, that's smoke, not a cat hair. I try to add new stuff to my shop, like first Friday of every month. That's kind of my goal. My shop, the link to my shop is actually in my about page, so feel free to take a look. There's not a ton in there at the moment because, like I said, I'm restocking stuff on Friday. But yeah, these are both the bee set and the smoky set are for commissions that people reached out about, which is fun. I like working on commissions. There's something fun about bouncing ideas off of someone, and it's always I find it very satisfying if I can like make something for someone and have it turn out exactly how they want. Like, there's a certain amount of joy that comes with like making someone's ideal thing. Hopefully things turn out. It's yeah. But commissions are definitely more work, but I'm putting a little bit of resin on the lids as well, because again, I want a little bit of extra for to fill in the space of the bubbles. And also I don't want any air bubbles to be trapped in the numbers when I put the lids on. I don't want to like trap air in between the lids and the base itself. This wasp is floating. What I was concerned about. I'll show you in a second. So I put the wasp in the D20 already, and part of that was because I knew that I was going to use probably the most amount of just the clear resin. I haven't added any color to. So I wanted to make sure that I had that all. I don't like having bubbly dice. I mean, I suppose it depends on what I'm going for, but no, not usually. Yes. Hello, Scryer. I've been. Scryer also makes dice for everybody else in the chat on Twitch, so you can go check out her channel too if you're interested in watching dice making. No, I've been running around. Well, I've been inking dice all day. The main part of making dice, like where most of the work comes in, is not in the like designing and pouring part. It's in the sanding and polishing and inking part, because it's such a small scale that any tiny little like scratch or whatever shows up. So it's a lot of work to, and also because I have caps, you're going to end up with flashing and stuff that you have to get rid of. With like open-faced molds, you got a little bit of wiggle room, but all right. So those are all set. I have a little tray here that I put things on to put in the pressure pot, and part of that's because these will overflow once I put the lids on. And part of it's because the pressure pot doesn't actually have a flat base to it. I'm just going to put clear in the rest of this. That one's the bonus anyways. Alright. Put these on here. I'm going to let these sit for a minute while I let the bubbles all rise to the top. I'm going to sit and let the bubbles rise. I'm going to push this wasp down a little bit. We'll give it another minute to try and float. You've been procrastinating all day? That's nice. It's nice to have a lazy day every once in a while. I've decided, so I was hoping to have about 15 new sets in the shop on Friday, but I think I'm only going to have about 10, just because the last few sets are still in the tumbler polishing. So that's where I'm at, but that's fine. It means I have a head start for next time. So I think I'm gonna do about 10. Oh, let me think about this here. Full set is 30. How much do I have left? Well, let's do this. Oh, you've been procrastinating. Oh, tomorrow. Oh no. Are you ready for tomorrow? Scryer's doing a 24-hour stream tomorrow, which I completely forgot about. It's on my calendar because I'm gonna hopefully come sing with you. But 5, 10, 15, 20. It's a little bit above, probably about the 7.5 mark. But yeah, are you ready for tomorrow? You're probably not ready, but it's fine. That's fair. You can wing it. It's one of those things. Alright. That's 7.5. Probably don't actually need that much in there. Let's. A little bit below that. Still hard to see the lines. Alright, there's the orange. I do think I figured out when I'm going to have a stream. Oh, but just as a side note to Scryer, because I was already talking to her about this. I think I figured out when I'm going to have a stream to celebrate getting affiliate. And I have kind of a plan. I think I'm going to do a similar thing to how you did a giveaway before, where I use the channel points as an entry. Like, have it be a requirement that you're like following, and then also that makes it so that if you'd have to have stopped by the stream to enter. I do need to figure out how long of a stream I should do and what all I want to do in a stream. I definitely want to make a set of dice, or maybe just a piece of jewelry or something. Probably a set of dice, and then have that be the giveaway. But 6, and I'll go up to the yeah. So not this Saturday, but next Saturday is the plan, because I am busy this week with shop stuff, but next Saturday I hopefully won't be running around like a crazy person quite as much. So yeah, if anyone's interested in a dice giveaway, or if you don't use dice, my plan is to make a set of dice and then on stream, and then have a giveaway for them. But then if the person who wins isn't a fan of dice, I'll make them something else. Do a piece of jewelry or something if they're interested, or maybe a tray, something like that. But yeah, if anyone's interested, the plan is to do it not this Saturday, but next Saturday. I'm thinking maybe I'll start a little bit earlier than normal. And I think I might do somewhat of a longer stream than usual. I think that's my plan. Alright, how are these colors? Do I have enough of the pigment? But I'm still debating how long I want to do. I've done a 5-hour stream before, and that's when I was doing like polymer clay stuff. Because resin has a work time, so like the stream time is going to be somewhat limited unless I waffle for a very long amount of time before actually pouring the resin, which wouldn't surprise me, but you know, that's fairly normal. But I've done a 5-hour stream, and that was doable, but kind of long-ish. So I'm like, I could do another 5 hours, but if I start before your Saturday stream ends, make sure. Oh, that'd be awesome. Well, what time do you usually stream on Saturdays? I guess I haven't really paid attention to your schedule so much. I just kind of like hop on when I get a notification that you're streaming. You're a couple hours ahead of me though, so like usually you stream earlier than I do. But maybe I'll start at like 5 instead of 7, and then do like a 5-hour stream. And I think Saturday's good because I want to do it sometime when like people are free and can actually stop by the stream. Alright, cool. We've got our got our colors there. For these, that's going to be for our honey one. Oh, 10:30 to 3 p.m. Your time or my time? Oh, see, I was saying maybe till start at 5, but I could start earlier in the day. Saturdays are fairly open-ended for me. Saturdays are kind of my chill work days, usually. Like, I'm still working, but it's a little bit more relaxed. Start with the blue. But, I mean, I could do it. I could start it. I could start at 3 or something. 3 or so. Oh, I am actually going to want pipettes for the rest of these because I don't want these to... I want these to be sort of layers. I'm going to grab a pipette just a second here. Alright. What's everybody up to tonight? Anything fun? Working on any craft projects of your own? I don't know who else is still hanging out, but I was saying earlier that part of the reason I like streaming is because it kind of has that vibe of like hanging out with people while working on arts and crafts, which I enjoy. So it's always kind of fun to me when people are watching the stream while working on arts and crafts of their own. I don't know, there's just some sort of camaraderie to it, I suppose. Alright. Alright. More of the D8. I think that's enough of the blue. Down for the purple. If I wanted like distinct layers, I would do this in multiple pours, but I'm way too lazy and impatient for that, so we're just gonna get very rough layers. I am gonna try and be gentle enough to hopefully get actual layers. That's the idea anyways. I don't think that completely covered the blue. Right. Just starting to get a little bit more, just a tiny bit more gummy. It's not like there yet, but oops, I need more here. That's definitely not covering. Just want to get all the blue covered. It's hard when it's such a small opening. Alright, so that's probably enough for purple. Let's set this down for a moment. onto the pink. I'm trying to make kind of sunrise dice here. Not like, we'll see if they turn out that way, but that's kind of the thought process here. I did a set of D6s recently as a commission, and the colors in that were all sparkly, and it just looks so pretty with everything being all shimmery that I wanted to do another, like a full D&D set that was all shimmery. Oh man, all of tomorrow is going to be spent probably, well, I have stuff going on tomorrow. I'm going to go stop by Scryer's stream. My family is doing dinner. But, most of tomorrow is probably going to be, tomorrow's Thursday. It's supposed to be my day off tomorrow. It's not going to be. Most of tomorrow is going to be spent, making all of the listings for Friday. Because I haven't yet. I still need to take like photos of everything and make the listings for all of the items. I was kind of worried about this pink because it's kind of a more muted pink than the other colors, but I think I like it. It's kind of a more of a dusty pink color. So it's more to the D20. The D20 takes like a lot of resin compared to the other ones. I mean, the D12 takes quite a bit too, but... what did I use to make it purple? This purple was a mica powder that I got from a soap making company. A lot of my mica powders are from a soap making company because I made soap before I did resin. So I have a whole bunch of mica powders. Yeah. Do you want the, like, actual brand and stuff, or, I can get that for you, I have it sitting over here. Yeah, it's, translucent purple that doesn't look sad. I actually do have a recommendation for that. I do have the Jacquard one, but it's weird because if you can very easily, and if it's in the wrong lighting and stuff, it just looks brown and not purple. But I got a set of like cheap resin pigments. They're just called that, like on Amazon. And the purple in that's actually really nice. Actually, all of those are pretty nice. I can show you after this. I have my little sample chips I can show you. Alright, that's more to the D20. Yeah, most of your purples have the brown issue. Yeah, they don't work as alcohol inks. Like, you can't do like if you're just looking to color the resin, it works. If you're looking to do like a dirty pour and put it on top of the resin before pouring, or use it as a Petri, I don't know that it would work well for that. But it does make a good purple resin. I'm happy to send. I might not actually need. I don't think I need the pipette for this one. It's so close to the top here. Yeah. But I can find a link to that if you're curious. Or I think they're literally just called resin pigments on Amazon. But no, this purple is opaque because it's a mica powder. And let me add a little bit of this to all of these lids. Yeah, it's a Yeah, I don't know why. It's interesting. I've seen non-resin things too, where like if like the purple isn't, if the purple's super saturated, it turns up as like green. There's like there's like a watercolor thing, like watercolors, where the purple, as the watercolor looked green, even though it looked purple once you painted with it. I don't know why it does that. I don't know. I don't know why it does that. Is it kind of like those things where the structure of it is what causes the color and not a pigment? Like some beetle wings and stuff, it's all about the structure. I don't know. And so like the structure of it maybe looks brown and the pigment's purple. I don't know. I don't know. Alright, I'm actually yellow. Might be able to use some of this yellow over here, but alright, there's more in there, but that's fine. I'm gonna set these over here so that they can get some bubbles out. Shut these up here for the time being. Maybe the wasp has turned. Okay. So the wasp does keep floating, which is kind of what I expected. But that's kind of why I am, hopefully once I put the lid on, that should help a little bit, because it'll hold everything down. But also I'm letting it get a little bit more gummy, because then hopefully that should help hold things in place. Alright. Let's move on to the honey. So my plan for this, I don't know if I want to do all of these the same yellow, if I want to do different yellows. I think I want to do different yellows because I want all of these to be slightly different. So the first one I'm going to do, this is going to be for the D8, and I want most of it to be this yellow, so about 5 milliliters probably, which will be plenty. It's always, yeah, it's kind of amazing to, like, a full set of dice is just one of these, like a full one of these, and that just doesn't add up to me somehow. It feels like it should be, like, way more than that or something, and then it's just, the volume of resin always feels off. Oh yeah, this is what the resin pigments are. They were pretty cheap. Like they're not fancy. And like I said, they don't work as alcohol inks. I'm pretty sure they're like water based, which for people that aren't used to working with resin, if you add water to your resin, it will make it so it doesn't cure. But just adding a little bit of it is in this amount, it should be fine. I'm using the white from this because normally I would use the white alcohol ink that I have, but also I use that so much that I'd rather use up some of this. The white alcohol ink is useful in so many different applications. Ooh, I actually want some orange in this, I think. Let's take a little bit of this orange. See if this works. So I want this to be kind of a honeycomb color, like a beeswax sort of color. Actually, this orange might help. I'm just going to use the rest of this orange. Perfect. That's a way to get rid of my extra orange. Let me do that. I'm actually going to add, and then I'm going to add another drop of white, I think. It did turn very yellow. No, like I said, these pigments are actually pretty good. Like, they do a good job of coloring the resin, and the purple looks really nice. I'll show you the paint chip in a second. Let me just get through. Maybe a little bit more yellow than I would have liked. I don't know. Does it look kind of? It looks kind of beeswaxy. Just maybe a little bit brighter, but I think that's fine. I think that'll be fine. I'll add one more drop of white. So this is going to be for the D8 here. And I think I'm going to end up leaving the lid off of this and doing this in 2 pours. Because the plan here is to fill it up most of the way, and then I have this little kind of honeycomb shape. But the thing is, this honeycomb shape is not honeycomb, it's going to be the honey that's on top of the honeycomb, because it's kind of it's like the indented version. My thought is I'm going to add the yellow as the honeycomb. Fill this up most of the way. And that might be a little bit more yellow than I would have liked. It's a little cartoony, but that's okay. It's still a nice yellow. So we're going to fill that up most of the way. That's probably enough. I want to make sure that I have room for this. Yeah, there's a big bubble on top there. Let me pop that. Pop a couple bubbles. Because then I want to take this. And I want to place that on top so that it looks like honey in a honeycomb. That's the idea anyways. Oof. Don't want it to sink. Trying to get that. Oops. Just a second here. I have pushed it down too much. Okay, I'm pulling it back out. We're going to grab a different piece. I went too far. That's fine. I will use that elsewhere. That's why I made more than one. Let's try this one. I just want it to rest on top. It's hard working in this kind of confined area. That looks fine. We'll do that. Alright, so for these, I want different yellows in all of these. Different yellows and oranges. So I'm actually going to use the same yellow. I'm just going to add a whole bunch more white. I want it to be much more pale. And use that as kind of a base in here. Here's the white. Try to figure out where my white went. Because I want a really pale yellow, if I can. That's still pretty bright. What I might do is I'm going to scoop a little bit out of this out. Just a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of clear. Not a lot, because I do actually want clear to fill this up the rest of the way. So a little tiny bit of clear. And one more drop of white, and that'll hopefully turn out a little bit more pale. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Alright, because I just wanted a little bit of this for the very bottom. It's going to get displaced a little bit with some clear. That's the idea anyways. Because I'm going to be sticking these flowers in it. Stick those in the clear. Start get the bubbles going out of those. Well, that's going. Let's put a little bit of this into the bottom of this D10. I was thinking of using the pipette, but I think this is going to be easier to just pour because it's so little. I'm realizing now, though, that this is probably going to be too long. This flower's probably going to be a little bit too big. I think that'll be okay, actually. So I just want to make sure I get some of the bigger bubbles out. They like to get caught in all of the petals and everything. There's one right here. Alright. Let's throw these bubbles in there. Not bubbles, flowers. Throw these flowers in there, not the bubbles. I don't want the bubbles. And then fill this in the rest of the way with the clear. And this is going to take, I can tell that this is going to take a bit for the air to rise to the top just because of the way I have this set up. We'll give that a second for some air to rise to the top, and we're going to do a similar thing with this one, except this one I think I'll do maybe more of a honey color. In the bottom. So again, I don't need a lot, I need very little. Yeah, I'm getting towards the end of my work time. This is getting very viscous, which works out well for this wasp, because then I can push it down a little ways. Let's make sure we've got some bubbles off the surface here. And I'm just using rubbing alcohol. It breaks the surface tension, doesn't affect the curing. And so the bubbles should pop a lot easier. Come on. That's a little bit of that. So I'm going to use a little bit of orange. Yeah, this is the wrong one for this. A little bit of orange. This thing's going to end up probably very, very pigmented. Drop a little bit of yellow. And the little tiniest bit of purple. Oops, that's probably more than I need, but oh well. And the reason I use a little bit of purple is it turns it a little bit more brown. So I got kind of like a darker orange now, because the purple is opposite of yellow. So it's makes it a little bit more brown. I think that's good. That's kind of a good honey color. You have a good honey color. It doesn't quite can't quite see it in your in the camera there, but it's kind of a very dark orangish brown color. So we're going to use just a little tiny bit of that in the bottom of this one with this yellow flower, because I think that'll complement the yellow of the flower nicely. And I want just enough to kind of cover the base of the dye. And again, this will probably get displaced a little bit when I add the flower and the clear and everything, but that should be plenty. This one's already soaked in, so that's good. So that's more. And I need to dip this flower before I forget. I'm gonna do this one. Yeah, I think this is a good one. I should have done these earlier if I was thinking about it, because like I said, I dip these in the resin first so that I can get the bubbles out, and it's much easier to get the bubbles out when the resin is a little bit more liquidy. And I've waited long enough that it's gotten a little thicker, so it's a little bit harder to get the bubbles out now. So I may end up with some gaps in these dyes, hopefully not. If I do, I can either, depending on the size of the gaps, if they're really big, I'll just remake them, or I can fill in tiny gaps. Yeah, you can see all the bubbles that are rising to the surface there from those big bubbles there are air that was caught in this flower that I'm trying to get out before I put it into the mold. Alright, let's see a bubble here. So I'm going to get all these set up. let some air rise out of that while I get that one ready to go. It looks like I've gotten the bubbles pretty much popped on top of these, so I'm going to put the lids on so that those are ready to go. Okay, oh, you can't actually see those. Let me move this so you can see what I'm referring to over here. Here's my tray of, where's that bubble coming from? Pop. Right, my tray of things are already poured. Alright. It's I know my color theory, I guess. To be fair, I've always done painting, so like I guess mixing. To be fair, I've never been great at like mixing colors, but that's more in the sense that I'm lazy, and it's so much easier to just use paint out of the tube than to try and mix the right color. It's part of the reason I end up with like I do like very bright paintings. Also, I just like bright colors, but I do like very bright paintings partially because I am too lazy to like mix my bright colors into muted colors. Maybe I'll do some painting on a longer stream. Should I try and do like 8 hours? I could try and do like 8 hours. Like, I'm sure I'd have content for it. Come on. Just make sure you're in the right spot. Okay. I need to figure that out. One way or another, though, I will be doing a giveaway stream. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Here's the one for the D6. How does that go on this one? Like this? Yes, excellent. I think I can find things to work on. That is not my issue. My real question is, do I have the stamina to stream for 8 hours? Yeah, I've told you before. Hell no am I sanding your dice. It's a pain sanding my own dice. There's a bubble on this one. You only have 76 sets. Yeah, I've kept pretty on top of sanding the dice that I've made. So I really don't have a ton to sand at the moment. But I've also, you know, I'm making sets. Set this one up here. That's the one that has some honeycomb. Hopefully that turns out. We'll see. We'll see how that one ends up looking. Are the bubbles out of here? I think most of the bubbles are out of here. Pull this flower out and put it in. If I can get it. There's definitely still bubbles on this flower, but I think most of the big ones are out. Oof. Let me not pull all of the petals out. That would be good. Get some of the extra resin off, just so it's easier for me to shove this in here. Alright. Let's pour some more. There's some little pieces of broken petals and stuff in here, but let's pour that in. Yeah, no, you definitely have more sets than I do. That's for sure. But I mean, yeah, I think I've just been trying to get things finished as I make them more. The finishing is the annoying part and the big time part, but I've wanted to have a good amount to list for my releases and stuff. Or at one point I was making things as people ordered them, so I've just kind of had to be. Let's put some resin on these lids. Yeah, that's definitely getting goopy, and I don't have enough to make the D6s, but that's okay. We can make something else. Stack that. Let's see here. Let me put these lids on. Oh. No. It's like, where's the one for the bee? Oh no. It's right here. These bubbles. The wasp has ended up sideways, but that's okay. So gotta flip that around a little bit. Alright. Here's the one with the wasp in it. We'll see how that turns out. One of my things with this one is I'm not sure if I want to do just a clear resin with the bee in it, or if I want to do like the bee with something else with it. So I don't want it to be hidden by something, but I don't know if it'll be a little boring if it's just by itself. Not boring, but like plain. I guess plain's the right word. Alright, let's put these on. Make sure that's all on in the right spot. And make sure that this 0 is filled in. I don't want any air bubbles trapped. So like I said, I probably only have about 10 new sets available in my shop on Friday. I mean, I plan to have some other like commission options and stuff available. Hopefully I'll actually have options for trays now that I think I've got some packaging so I can actually ship them. That was my problem before, is that I just didn't have a good sized box or mailer to send those out. I think I've got that figured out. So like I plan to actually have trays available. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, I didn't get all of the things done that I wanted to get done for this dice release. But that just means that I'm ahead for the next one. And I'm sure I can stay busy with working on other things. I think I am going to try and pick up production a little bit. Because like, you have 76 sets. I don't have that kind of stock. I really should start building up some more stock. It works out okay because I have a few sets that didn't sell last time. So I will actually still have a few in the shop. So it's not going to be too bare. But that one, this one up here. I want to make sure these are all filled in. Anybody got any fun plans for New Year's? Like, obviously probably not a bunch of traveling and seeing people, but I have my little pod of people, which consists of me and my parents and my grandmother. So we're gonna have dinner tomorrow night. That should be nice. Oh, and my brother. I live with my brother. Or I guess my brother lives with me. If we're gonna be pedantic about it. I'm just kind of pushing the flowers down a little bit. I want to make sure that I get like the bubbles out before I put the lids on. There's a few bubbles that are still rising. I already know your plans this. Oh, I didn't even realize that you were doing it over the New Year's. It totally just struck me that you were doing your 24-hour live stream over New Year's. Yeah, that didn't occur to me until right this second. Let's do a spare. Let's do a. Here, I'm gonna do just kind of a dirty pour D12 for now. Kind of honey themed dirty pour D12. I have so much hair on my hand. Why do I have hair on my hand? It's not even cat hair, it's my hair. You have tiny poppers, tiny party poppers and everything. Oh, that's fun. That's cute. That should be fun. There's the kind of honey color. I'm just gonna throw all of my yellows into one big thing. Oh, I need to go ship something tonight. I was going to do it earlier and I was waiting to hear back, but that reminds me. So I'm just going to finish up here. I think I need to fill my air compressor with air, so I'll probably hop off before I put these in the pressure pot. But so I'll just finish pouring here and then we'll be probably done for the night. Which, knowing me, could take another hour and 45 minutes, despite the fact that the working time on this is definitely not that. Alright, so I'm going to do a dirty pour, which is where I put all sorts of different colors into the same cup, and then pour it into the mold. So, these are fun, because you never really know how they're going to end up. They usually end up kind of all swirly and stuff. I posted a picture of some rainbow ones that I did. Posted those on all my social medias earlier today, if you want an idea of what dirty pours can end up as. That's not the right one. Where's the lid? Oh, there it is. Oh, this will be kind of nice. It's definitely yellow. But I think that'll be pretty, actually. I like those colors. Here I have a random D10 here that I was using as a kind of a dump mold. I decided to start using some of my regular dice as dump molds because I've had a couple people ask for raw sets of random dice. I'm like, I have a few random dice that are raw from sets where only some of the dice turned out and that sort of thing. But I don't have a ton, so I'm just gonna I'll just start making some. This is gonna be kind of a orange and yellow one because there's already some orange in the bottom of that. I made some. Well, I've been calling them in my brain, the design is Devil's Pact, because it makes me think of like Warlock Patron in D&D. Let's see. But and I make it with ground up chili peppers and gold foil. I can show you in just a second how those look. Drop this off the top of that. The last little bit of orange in here, because I can use just a smidge more resin on the top here. Okay. Okay, you're still here, Scryer. I have a question for you. What do you like about watching people's streams? Because I was saying earlier, I like it because it's kind of a social thing. Like, I like hanging out and chatting with people. Like, if I'm gonna be working on something like resin, usually I will watch a YouTube video where I don't feel the need to interact as much. But I'm curious what all people like watching live streams for. Because I'm sure there's, like I was saying before too, I like D&D because I like it for the social aspect. But some people like it for the game aspect, some people like it for the role-playing aspect. There's so many different reasons to like it. And there's not really any right way, it's just that it varies from person to person. So I'm curious, and if anybody else is still in the chat and has an answer, I'm taking a poll. What is it that you like about watching live streams? It doesn't have to be mine, but is there a through line? Like, do you watch it for like the people, or do you watch it for what they're working on? A mix of both? Like, I probably watch more making and crafting streams because, like, I like arts and crafts. Oh, let's see. You did it for the social aspect too. Okay. Yeah, I guess to be fair, we're working from home, so we're working for ourselves, so we don't really have coworkers to bother and be social with. No one really has coworkers to be social to bother and be social with at the moment, but would that fit in there? I think it would. I think I could fit this in here. But that would make sense actually for both of us, because and I'm extroverted, but I feel like I could very easily become agoraphobic. If that makes sense. Oh, nope, that's not good. That doesn't work well. No, I'm just gonna mess up my mold with this. It's a little bit too big. You're 100% an introvert? Yeah, everyone needs some social interaction though. I'm in the middle. I am an introverted extrovert. Like, I enjoy being around people, but that's just slightly too big. Let me just bend that, and I think it should work better. It doesn't look nearly as good when it's bent, but that's something at least. It'll fit better. Sorry, I'm getting distracted trying to get this put together before. It's still just a little bit too wide, but I think think that's fine. Alright, I'm gonna put the last little bit of the clear in here. No, I'm kind of an introverted extrovert. Like, I like being around people. To be fair, I like being around people, but also I find it draining to be around people at the same time. So maybe I'm more of an introvert, but that's more because I feel like I have to be constantly entertaining people, which I guess kind of works out with streaming on Twitch. But like, when I have people over to my house for dinner and board games and stuff, I definitely feel like I'm in charge of making sure everyone's having a good time, and that I have to be entertaining. That's part of the reason that it depends on the person and how well I know them. If I know someone really well, it's fine, and if I like vibe with that person, it's fine. But I don't like having like, I don't necessarily like hanging out with people one-on-one, because I feel like there's a lot more pressure for me to carry a conversation and stuff. Okay. Yeah, that's not working so well, but that's okay. Just like, I'm in this big bubble here. Alright, let me set these up top. It's kind of interesting the number of people I feel like that are I don't know. I wouldn't call myself an entertainer, like, because I don't do this to be entertaining necessarily. Like I said, I do this more for like the social aspect of it, and I like just chatting with people. I don't really consider myself an entertainer by doing this, but it is interesting, like, the number of entertainers, and I mean that like streamers and YouTubers and people in film and that sort of stuff, that like are introverts, because I feel like it's a very like outgoing, I guess that's more with traditional acting and stuff. It's not as necessary for like streaming and YouTube and stuff, but it's all about networking, and it's all about being able to like connect with other people. Like, that's how you get jobs in entertainment. It's all about building kind of relationships with different people. Why is there so much hair? Am I shedding? How much hair? It's not even cat hair, it's my hair. Okay. I do want to do more voice acting stuff. I should actually start looking at some of that stuff. It's not, I need to set up a space that has better, a big part of having good sounding audio is having a good sound environment. So space that's quiet, has good sound cancellation, that sort of. Let's see this. Oh, that's true. It's much better with making connections in one-on-one settings rather than talking in a group, but it's a bit easier streaming since I don't feel like talking over one. Yes, that's what I'm saying though. I prefer groups. It stresses me out talking with people one-on-one. Depending on who it is. If it's like a good friend or something, it's fine. But like people that I don't know very well, I feel the need, like, I have to be entertaining this person, and then it's hard for me to, like, it just stresses me out. But I do that a little bit in groups anyways, especially if it's like me hosting people. If someone else is hosting, it's not as big of an issue, but quite often, like, dinner and board games would happen at my house. I do look forward to that happening again. I do enjoy people having people over for like dinner and board games. But I definitely feel the need to entertain when I'm one-on-one with people and when I am hosting people. Alright, let me add a little bit, tiny bit more to the top here. Alright, let's get these going. I need to get these in the pressure pot. They're right at their end there. I probably should put something on top of this to add some weight. It's getting a little thick, so I'm worried I'll end up with raised faces. And I do like entertaining. It's definitely, it takes energy to entertain, but also I'm a show off, if you couldn't pick up on that. So like, you know, it appeals to me, but it does take energy. I don't think I'd want to be famous, though. I enjoy entertaining, I enjoy being a show off, but I wouldn't want people to like know who I was on the streets. I feel like that would be stressful. I guess that goes back to, I feel like I have to entertain people when I'm like one-on-one with them. So if I was famous enough for people on the streets to recognize me, I would feel like I had to be constantly entertaining people as I met them, and it would just suck all of my energy. And I like people, but it just takes energy to interact with people. Let's do D4. Okay, just this last little bit of resin. Purple. Yeah, very end of the time. Purple. That's part of the reason. So like I grew up doing like musical theater and stuff. I grew up on musicals and that sort of stuff, and I've always loved singing, and I like performing because I'm a show off. But that's part of the reason that voice acting appealed to me, is because there is a certain amount of anonymity to it. Because people, like, I recognize some voice actors just because I'm into that stuff. Like, I went to a panel with Grey Delisle. I look up who the actors are for like cartoon characters and stuff, just because it interests me. But like, I feel like that's not something that, like, if you're walking, or if a voice actor's walking around, they're probably not going to have a ton of people coming up to them and recognizing them. So that certain amount of anonymity sounds nice. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you recognize voices, but you don't necessarily, if you saw them on the street, you wouldn't recognize them. And maybe if you heard them talk or something, you would, but there's a certain amount of anonymity, and that appeals to me, because they're still being able to perform, and then also not having to perform in your everyday life. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I enjoy performing, but I enjoy performing on my own terms. Alright. But maybe oh, like every anime convention you've gone to, you had to look up every panelist to see if you knew them from everything. Yeah, no, I get that. I'm just like, I've heard this name before, but I don't know where, and I don't know in what context. Okay, excellent. That's all, pretty much all the resin. I'm gonna drop that and then mix that up. Then I'll have some white. That's that little bit there cures. Cool. Alright, let me put these up here. I'm still debating just how I want to go about things though. Because like, I'm trying to put a lot of time and energy towards making dice at the moment and getting like crafting stuff up and running. I don't know if I want to put time and energy towards like voice acting stuff. Because that's a lot of work too. There's definitely a grind to that as well, of finding work and all that. Like continually auditioning for things. It's a grind. So I don't know if I want to put the time and energy into that or not. But I'm not sure what else I don't know. There's all sorts of things I kind of want to do. I think it'd be really fun to record music too. But also, writing music is not my forte. So, there's that. Alright, so I think that's everything, resin-wise. I'm probably going to end the stream for tonight. Just because I don't think the air compressor is full of air and it gets kind of loud. So, thanks for stopping by. It was very exciting with the raid earlier. But yeah, if everyone have a good night, and I will be streaming again on Saturday with probably some more arts and crafts. It's kind of a mixed bag on Saturdays. But have a good night. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you guys then. Bye.